So today we will be looking at how do we factor out the negative. So in our problems today, all of them will have negative numbers in them. So our job is going to be to see what's the greatest common factor we can pull out of both of the problems that would have a negative number in them. So our first example that we have today is negative 4p plus 10. All right, our job is to first see if we can factor out a negative number. So we're going to look at what numbers make up these in order to factor out this negative piece right here. Well, we know that a negative times a negative would give us a positive as well. So first, let's look at the factors that we have of negative 4p. So negative 4p can be made by 1 and 4 and 2, right? And all of these are negatives. All right. We also have 10. So if we're looking at 10, what could I multiply here to get our numbers? Okay, well, I could put a negative here and have 2 be my number, and then I will factor out a negative 2. So I'm going to factor out negative 2 on the outside of my parentheses. So negative 2 times what p plus what gives me my final answer. So let's think about this. Well, if I do negative 2 times a positive 2, I would get negative 4p, which is what I start with here. On this problem, if I do negative 2 times a negative 5, I would get a positive 10, which is what I want to end with. Oops. So here I did negative 2 times negative 5. So I could put these numbers here and find that it was negative 2. Also, in the directions, I wanted to show you this first, but in the directions they did ask us, they asked us to factor negative 2 out. So just like we did yesterday where we were looking at what's the coefficient we could factor out, here they wanted us to factor negative 2 out of both numbers. So to factor negative 2 out of both of these, I just had to figure out 2 times what and negative 2 times what to get my final answer. So the final is negative 2p plus negative 5. All right, let's go ahead and look at example B. So on example B that we have today, example B says to factor out negative 4. So they want us to factor out negative 4 from, we have negative 12r minus 20. Okay, so we're going to factor it out from here. I don't know why I put those in parentheses, but that's okay. All right, so we're looking at negative 4 being our outside number. So negative 4, and I just want to know, how do I fill in these blanks? Okay, so negative 4 times what r gives me 12r. So I have negative 4 times what gives me negative 12. Well, I know that 4 times 3 gives me negative 12. So I'm going to put a 3 there. I now want 20 here. So I'm going to look and see 4 times what gives me negative 20. Because I want this to be able to say minus 20. So this one is kind of tricky here. So negative 4 times what would I put here to keep it so that it's negative 20? Well, negative 4 times a positive 5 will give me a negative 20. So here's my negative, here's my negative. So here, if I just put 5 here, and then I add a plus sign here, I have my negative 5. Okay? So if we're going to look at it like that, that's really confusing. I just confused you, and I'm so sorry. Okay, so let me start again on this one. So if I do negative 4 times negative 5, I get a positive 20. But I want it to say negative. So when I multiply 4 times 5, I get a minus sign there. Okay? So the minus sign can stay. That's just kind of confusing. And I apologize for that one. Okay? So the answer here, we don't want that. We want positive. So that way when we bring down our minus sign, it works. Okay? All right. Let's do one more example so that that's not so confusing. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so this one I want to factor out. I want to factor out, let's do another one, negative 4 from negative 8k minus 12. Okay, so first I'm looking at negative 4 being on the outside, and I want to know what times k, and I want to end with, why do I keep doing that? Minus something. Okay, so let's start with, you can't see that. Negative 4 times what? Gives me negative 8. That's what I want to end with. So negative 4 times a positive 2 gives me negative 8k. So we're going to put positive 2 there. In this blank, we want to end with 12 because we're going to keep that minus sign right there. So we want to end with 12 because it already has a minus sign. Okay? So negative 4 times what gives me 12? Well, 4 times 3 gives me 12. Now I have my minus sign, and that's where the negative can go, is right up there. Okay. All right, so my answer is negative 4 times 3 gives me a negative 3. All right, so negative 4 groups of 2k minus 3. All right, it is, well, let's check this. 4, so that's negative 12. Yeah, so that gives us negative 12. Okay, it is your turn now to do a try it. This video is really short today. Okay, your try it today. The try it I have for you. So try it number 1. Try it number 1 says to factor negative 5 from negative 5d plus 30. Okay, and then try it number 2. Try it number 2 is asking you to factor negative 8 from negative 32c plus 56. All right, go ahead and hit pause right now so you don't hear me solving, and then when you're ready, come on back. All right, so first we have negative 5 that's going on the outside, and I want to know negative 5 times what gives me d? Well, that's a 1, and I get negative 5d. All right, and I need to figure out what goes here. So negative 5 times 1. 5 times 1 gives me negative 5. Negative 5 times 1 gives me negative 5. Okay, and 30 is our last number that we want. So we want to end up with 30. And we are going to do negative 5 times what gives me 30. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, so that gives me plus 30. So negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. And that is our final answer. So your final answer is negative 5d plus negative 6. There you go. All right, and our final problem today. We are putting negative 8 on the outside, and we want to get some 32c plus 56. All right, so I want to look at this, and I want to know negative 8 times what gives me negative 32. So negative 8 times what c gives me negative 32. Well, negative 8 times 4 gives me 32, negative 32c. And then I have 56 here. So 7 times 8, right? So negative 8 times a negative 7 gives me 56 positive. So in this blank here, I'm going to put negative 7. So my final answer is negative 8 4c plus negative 7. All right. Go ahead and answer your essential question. How do you distribute the negative? And then put your level of understanding out to the side. When you're finished, you can come on back to the Google Meet and ask for help, or you can do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.